Who is the best player in Fortnite history? This is the most debated topic in the community, and I want to finally try and answer it. Was Ninja better than Tfue? Has Tayson outplaced Booger? Was Mongrel truly the GOAT? Well, let's find out. To kick things off, and this should be no surprise to anyone, we have Ninja, the face of Fortnite, the player who became so famous even your grandma probably knows who he is. While much of Ninja's success has been on the back of his larger-than-life personality and insane stream antics, a lot of people tend to forget that especially in the early days, Ninja was good. Really good.
Oh my god! Oh my god! God, that looks so clean, dude.
This was still the very early days of Fortnite, and while players such as Myth were beginning to develop strategies around using advanced building mechanics to overcome opponents, it was still a battle royale, and aim and decision making won games. Ninja had just switched to Fortnite as one of the best players in H1Z1, so he was no stranger to battle royales. This, on top of an illustrious career in competitive Halo, meant it came as no surprise he would absolutely dominate in this new battle royale. At this point in time, we didn't have arena. We didn't even have tournaments. We had public matches, and no one was better at styling on little Timmy and his friends than Ninja. While Ninja is not often talked about in the world of competitive Fortnite, he also ran the first ever major competitive event in Fortnite history, Ninja Vegas, where on top of prizes for placement and eliminations, there was an added bonus for killing Ninja himself, putting a target on his back among some of the other best players in the game, and he held his own. Ninja would go on to compete in traditional Fortnite, placing in Squad FNCS and almost qualifying for World Cup alongside Reverse 2K, but in these early days, he was the undisputed king of Fortnite. As seems to always be the way in early Fortnite, when we have Ninja, we have Tfue. While these two would go head to head many times, many would still debate who was better. I'm not going to do that here today though, as I believe they were both on top, but at different times. At this point, much like Ninja, Tfue was known for absolutely styling on kids in pubs with some of the most memorable plays and trick shots that still live on to this day. As these early days progressed though, we began to see the introduction of Fortnite kill races, where Tfue alongside Cloaksy would dominate almost every week of Fortnite Friday, pulling off some of the most insane clutches we have ever seen.
Nice. No one south there. Next to me, next to me! Let's go! Let's go! You go, bro! Do we win? Do we win?
Yet it was as Fortnite transitioned into mid-Chapter 1 and we saw the rise of major tournaments with the introduction of the skirmishes that Tfue would really cement himself as the best in the game. It was no longer just about styling on kids in pubs. It was about taking on the best of the best in the world in custom lobbies. While Tfue started off slow with a 27th in the summer skirmish, when fall rolled around, Tfue was unstoppable, picking up wins in 2 weeks of the qualifiers, leading to one of the most iconic celebrations in Fortnite history. Through these placements, Tfue had unarguably cemented himself as one of the best players in the world in solos, whether it was in a public lobby, a kill race, or against other pros. And while I'm trying to keep this video focused on solo performances, Tfue's dominance didn't end here. As with most other major tournaments in Fortnite, it was time to team up, and the FaZe duo alongside Cloaksy would get their chance to show that they weren't just kill race champions in the Fall Skirmish Grand Finals. Tfue and Cloaksy would beat out fellow FaZe duo Nate Hill and Funkbomb, taking out the top spot and over $500,000 in earnings.
Your number one duo. It's Tfue and Cloaksy!
Tfue would continue his dominance throughout much of his career, qualifying for Worlds and placing in multiple FNCS finals. But during these skirmish days, there was no disputing that Tfue was the top dog. Transitioning into late Chapter 1 and the World Cup, we have, of course, Bugha. Well, I believe almost every time period in Fortnite you can debate who is the best player. When it comes to World Cup, it was undeniably Bugha. Bugha was no stranger to competitive Fortnite coming into the World Cup, having been involved in the NAE's practice scene since the very beginning, and placing first in the Black Heart Cup solo qualifier, the first major online solo tournament in Fortnite. However, when qualifiers rolled round, the big names like Tfue, 72 Hours, and Vivid had everyone's attention to be the first players to qualify. Yet after the very first qualifier, Bugha found himself at the top of the leaderboard on 69 points. Sadly, he would struggle to repeat this same dominant performance in the following weeks, failing to break inside the top 10 for any of the remaining qualifiers. Players such as Dubs and Clicks would go on to qualify in every single week, leading many people to assume Bugha was a one-hit wonder. With no drop spot the day of World Cup and no prior LAN experience, almost no one could have expected what was to come.
Here is waiting to see if this player rotates out. There it is, a big shot, another elimination.
And he's got near max material.
Kidding me.
A statement is being made. Dr. Lupo at the end of this game, he'll most likely be crowned the best Fortnite player in the world. The final moments of Fortnite World Cup.
Oh my gosh.
Bow down.
Surprise.
Bow down to Bugha. There's no way anyone beats him. Your Fortnite World Champion.
It is impossible to argue that any other single player was equal to Bugha's caliber, as for one of the very few times in Fortnite, everyone had the opportunity to prove themselves and no one was able to beat him. With Chapter 1 behind us and a new age of Fortnite on the horizon, it was time for change. It was time for the rise of the controller demons, and leading the charge was Unknown Army. One of the most dominant players this game has ever seen, walking through entire lobbies like it was nothing for several seasons to kick off Chapter 2. Unknown had undeniably the most dominant spree in solo cash cups we have ever seen, winning almost every single week to kick off the season. However, it wasn't on the back of positioning and patient gameplay. It was off the back of running through lobbies of pros like it was a public match.
Okay, at this point, it's just like, that's just unfair, bro. Bro, at this point, it's just like, this game is a joke right now.
You're playing your own bread.
Oh my.
What if you're on the same page? What are you doing?
Like this, it's not even fair, man.
He completely changed the way people thought about playing in stacked lobbies. While Unknown was doing this since before World Cup, actually getting banned from the competitive practice scene in NA East for ruining lobbies, when this more aggressive playstyle came out on top, no one could stop him. Despite being one of the most dominant solo players at the time, it was a team performance that cemented Unknown as the top dog of early Chapter 2, after winning Squad FNCS alongside Ronaldo, Kez, and Avery. Many people attributing this team's success to Unknown's insane damage and elimination potential, essentially having a team consisting of one Tarper and two support players backing up Unknown. Unknown's legacy is unfortunately one of controversy and debate. Many players attempting to take his achievements off him with accusations of being carried by aim assist. While it is very clear aim assist was not exactly balanced in early Chapter 2, the matter of fact is that there were plenty of other top tier controller players not even close to achieving what Unknown did. He undeniably had one of the most dominant sprees we have ever seen.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Someone needs to clip that! Oh my fucking god! Not dead! Dead!
He needs absolutely no introduction. Mongrel, by far one of the most entertaining pros, and while being dominant for much of Fortnite's history, it was in mid-Chapter 2 when I believe Mongraal was on a different level, even more so than the era of MMB. While placing a respectable 26th and 16th in the solo FNCSs to kick off Chapter 2, it was in Season 4 alongside Tayson and Metro that Mongraal would pick up his first ever FNCS championship. While I will admit their first place was through less than conventional teamwork.
Take this. Give me a shot. Oh. I drove you AR and you're running away from me. What is that play?
Oh gosh, reboot.
I did! I do you 100 bro! Bro, Tayson, we're not hearing many comms from the little IGL dude.
I don't know what's going on. Oh, what are you guys doing, man?
What are you doing? I need some comms though.
It was Mongraal's dominant mechanics and sheer fighting ability that enabled this team to win. With a similar playstyle to that of MMB in Season X and some of the worst communication and chemistry we have ever seen in a top tier team, Mongraal proved that armed with shockwaves and one pumps, no one could stop him.
Yeah, do you want to all go?
Yeah, go.
3, 2, 1, go! One shot, we're dead!
It is very hard to pinpoint a time when Mongraal was at his peak, as he was on top of everyone's list for so long. Many would argue it to be Season X alongside Metro and Benji, and while I'm inclined to agree, you can't underplay how impressive this FNCS win was, finally picking up his first crown while streaming and being surprise contested. It will forever go down as one of the most intense FNCSs ever. It is very fitting that where Mongraal's story of dominance would start to end, Tayson's would begin. With the most amount of online earnings in all of Fortnite now sitting at almost $1 million, Tayson is the undisputed GOAT of the post-World Cup Fortnite era. Kicking off Chapter 2 with a 5th and 1st in the solo FNCSs, 1st and 3rd in trios, and closing out the chapter with a 1st in Grand Royale, no one could argue that Tayson is the best overall player throughout Chapter 2. Let's not forget just how Tayson won solo FNCS either. A 1v1 against Vino in 2nd place. The winner would take home the crown, and of course Tayson comes out on top.
It'll have to be Vino going for the win right now in order to catch up. He's going for Erkin as well. If he gets 3, that could be it. He's moving forward, forcing the placement. Tayson on all walls, but he sees everything through. Finds it. A big match from Tayson takes them all. The undisputed best solo player possibly in the entire world. Guild Tayson.
Even on top of some of the most dominant solo performances we have seen, Tayson's ability to pick up new and often underrated teammates and lead them to victory proves that even in team game modes, Tayson is the carry. His confidence to split up with teammates even after having just won an FNCS and go on to win again with a completely new team is unmatched by any other pro. Outside of Booga at World Cup, I believe there are a few times in Fortnite history where you can point to one pro and say they are unarguably the best player in the game. But Tayson throughout almost the entirety of Chapter 2 was that player. To argue he was at the very least not top 3 would be ridiculous. Much like Chapter 2's early days, Chapter 3 has been dominated by a relatively new face. Malabuka, the Russian powerhouse who somehow, no matter what place he is in on the leaderboard halfway through a tournament, will almost always end on top.
This is huge. Give it up for your winners, Epic Will and Malabuka.
While Malabuka was not completely unknown coming into Chapter 3, his reputation within the community has changed drastically. From being the player contesting Mr. Savage's Steamy Stacks, sparking a lot of controversy and negativity, to one of the most respected and beloved pros in the scene. Malabuka may have to go down as one of, if not the best fighting IGLs. Meaning despite his incredible solo skill and ability to overwhelm players with his mechanics, when it comes to team game modes, he also has the game knowledge and understanding to lead his team to victory. To close out Chapter 3 Season 3, he has earned over $500,000 within the span of a few months, taking out 4th and 1st at the Saudi Arabia LAN event and 2nd in the EU FNCS finals. On top of countless Cash Cup wins and multiple world records for most points gained in a single tournament, Malabuka is proving to be undoubtedly the future of Fortnite. I already know this comment section is going to be a war zone, so I wanted to take the chance to say for players like Epic Whale, Miro, Aqua, Zate, and many more I was not able to include, I'll have another special video coming out for them in the future. Don't worry, I'm not about to disrespect the team mode goats like that. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it.